No, we didn't move the temple. We rented another preaching center. I think the manager of one house, he was very friendly with me, a hotel owner, so he gave me like for a few euro marks, he rented an office space where we could take the people right from the street. No? That didn't make many devotees either. Then something we did in Berlin in those days, we had this big festivals. We were friends with the police. They let us do a Hare Krishna festival right on the Kuda with prasadam distribution, cooking puris there. I don't remember how we called it, but it was some kind of a Krishna festival. And they allowed everything. They liked us. I can imagine in the middle of the Berlin, in some countries. I remember one time I arrived in Chandigarh, like after a bus trip to Chandigarh in the morning. I arrived there like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and our transport to Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math was not ready yet. So I pulled out my shrub and started doing a kirtan in the bus station in Chandigarh, or in front of the bus station. And what happened? The police came over and said, "Hey, you can't sing here." I said, "What do you mean I can't sing? I'm singing the name of Krishna." "No, here's prohibited to sing in Chandigarh. I'm singing in Berlin. I'm coming from Berlin, the land where all the demons who started the world wars, they lived there. They let me sing. And here in Chandigarh, you don't let me sing. I smashed the guy, but he is not allowed." Amazing. Huh? Amazing experiences you have in life. So Berlin was auspicious. They let us make a big Hare Krishna festival, but they still do that. I think ISKCON still does the Rasa Yatra on Kurfürsten now. Maybe they kept that same tradition from the past, but in those days when we were doing the Hare Krishna festivals, we didn't have Jagannath deity, so it was not a Rasa Yatra. It was something else, but it was prasadam in the street and chanting, The devotees always do the same anyway, Prasadam, chanting, and philosophy, So, that's a little bit of the history of Berlin, What happened then? I left Berlin. No, before that, I went to East Berlin many times. From this temple, Kurfürsten, I went over to one of Friedrichstadt's, Alexanderplatz, and the surrounding streets. That was my field. And then the parks, the East German parks. So I did that. I don't remember in the end how many times I made Sunday feast in East Germany. I don't remember. Maybe 15 times, maybe 20. Then other people may have continued a few more. I don't know. Exactly, because because I was a leader, Sankirtan leader, I was sent away for Sankirtan to other places. I then didn't stay in Berlin, so I lost a little bit out of touch. Then I didn't know the follow-up, what really happened there, until much later. Now there's a very famous slok. This is from the collection we memorized. Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam shukamukat amritam dravasamyutam pipata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika uvi babuka. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic knowledge. It emanated from the lips of Shukadeva Goswami, therefore this fruit has become even more tasteful. Also the nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Important point. Those who are already liberated, they still feel so happy about the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is so important. It's such a happy book. happiness in the age of Kali. Hope and happiness. It's the Bhagavatam. It's a very, very important book. If we keep connected to the Bhagavatam, we keep having hope and happiness. This is important, but it's not a blind hope. It is a hope based on something very important. Naimisheni Mishakshatre Vishaya Shadakalaya Shatram Svalgaya Lokaya Sahasra Samanasata. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shonaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. That's history, no? A 1,000-year sacrifice. They knew the problem was big, Kali Yuga. So they made a 1,000-year sacrifice. We are making a 4 or 5 day sacrifice called Ostermela, no? Of course, we're making another long time sacrifice called Berlin Mandir and other Vishnu Priya Ashram, Mayakorita, Austria Mandir. There's so many kind of things and mandirs and centers also. Ta ikata tumunaya prata hutanyaya satkritam satatam ashinam papachur idam adarat. Like this one, I memorized it, but I can't remember it all at all. One day, after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem to Srila Sutta Goswami, the great sages made inquiries with great respect about the following matters. Rishaya Uchu Tvayakalu Puranani Seti Asani Channaga Akyatani Api Aditani Dharmashastrani Janyuta. The sages said, respected Sutta Goswami, you are completely free from all vice. You are well versed in all the scriptures, famous for religious life, and in the Puranas and the histories as well, for you have gone through them under proper guidance and have also explained them. Yani Veda Vidam Shrestha Bhagavan Badarayana Anye Chamunaya Sutta Paravara Viddo Vidu. Being the eldest learned Vedantist, O Sutta Goswami, you are acquainted with the knowledge of Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Godhead, and you also know how other sages were fully versed in all kinds of physical and metaphysical knowledge. Vittatvam Shaumya Tat Sarvam Tatvatas Tat Anugrahat Bhuyusniktasya Shishyasya Guravo Guyam Abhyuta. And because you are submissive, your spiritual master will endow you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore you can tell us that you have sufficient, all that you have scientifically learned from them. So here, he learned from his guru and now he is expected to teach. Very important.
Sorry, which was the number of this verse?
This was number 8. Qualification. Tatra tatran yasha yushman bhavata yat vinikshitam pungsha ikanta tashreyas Tanna Samsitum Arasi. It's very small letters, very hard to read. Please therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us it is easy understandable, in an easy understandable way, what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. Now comes one shloka I still remember. Prajannal Pajya Shuta Kalavasmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Ya Upadruta 40 years. But I don't know the other ones. Gone. Of course, this one I quoted more. O learned one, in the iron age of Kali, most men have short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. This was the latest report from the Berlin from some ashrams in the world, you know. O learned one, in the iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. And that's not only brahmacharis. And Lupen. This is a very, I like this verse so much because I could immediately understand this was a temple report. Short lives, well, this is obvious. Quarrelsome, I don't know why. Lazy, unfortunately. Misguided, before we met Prabhupada. Unlucky, before we met Prabhupada. Above all, always disturbed. But even after we meet Prabhupada, many people just turn out very disturbed. Then it went on. Burini, Buri, Karmani, Shotavyani, Vibhagasha, Atashadyo, Trayaksharam, Samudritya, Manishaya, Ruhi Badraya, Bhutanam, Jenat Masuprasidati. There are many varieties of scriptures. In all of them, there are many prescribed duties which can be learned after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select the center of all these scriptures and then explain for the good of all living beings that by such instructions the hearts may be fully satisfied. It's a complex verse. It's very complex. But oh, you have varieties. Not a bad idea. Very interesting verse, no? The Bhagavatam is so sophisticated, it is so deep. It's just an amazing literature. That's why we were so happy as young brahmacharis, memorizing verse after verse. Sutta janasi badram te bhagavan sattvatam pati devakyam vasudevasya jato yasya chikirshaya. All blessings upon you, O Sutta Goswami. You know for what purpose the personality of Godhead appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. That's the introduction. Now we're going to the 10th canto, no? Hey, what happened there in Vrindavan? What happened there when Krishna appeared? Was that the whole Bhagavatam is a preparation to the 10th canto when Krishna actually appears, no? This is the philosophical preparation for you to understand that the Supreme Lord is explained. But he is already mentioned, like, oh, wait a second, he's going to come. Tandashu Shushramananam Ahasya Anganuvarnitum Yasyavataru Bhutalam Shemayacha. O son of Sutta Goswami, we are eager to hear, to learn about the personality of God in his incarnations. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters, acharyas, for one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. This is the great fortune. I'm now speaking Bhagavatam. I'm lucky. You're listening Bhagavatam. You are lucky. So everybody's lucky in Krishna consciousness. Wow. This is nice. Just by hearing and chanting, you become lucky. Mangalam, Mangalam. So fantastic. I'm repeating. For me, to read all these shlokas to you is like remembering 40 years ago when we memorized these every day. As I said, we had no other books. We had nothing. Koba Bhagavatastasya Punya Shloke Dyakalmana Shudik Kamona Srinuyat Yashakali Malapaham. Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Now listen to this. This is really something. Who would not be eager to get freed from the vices of this age by listening to the Bhagavatam? Who would not like it? Well, you know who? 2 million Berlin guys and a few others in other places. They're not here listening to Bhagavatam. We have not accomplished that. Maybe they don't know about it. That's our hope. They don't know, so we can tell them. Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Well, maybe another reason they don't want to get deliverance from the vices. Maybe they love the vices. Maybe they don't want to give up their beer and their illicit sex life and their other little silly things, you know. Therefore, they prefer not to come to listen to the Bhagavatam. Maybe that's the reason. But we know we want to get rid of the vices. Therefore, we need the guidance of the sages. We need the real information. We need the real nectar. So that's why we have to read the Bhagavatam every day. This is another shloka which is now coming very soon. Tasya karmani udarani parikitani shurivi ruhina shadadananam dilaya datakala. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. Atakyahi haler dimam avatara kata shubha lila vida tata swailam ishvadasyat mamayaya. O my Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's multi-incarnations, such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by His internal powers. Vayam, this one I can still remember also. So, some shlokas are more easy to remember because the rhythm and the words are more easy. This one. Vayam tunavi trityava uttama shloke vikrame yakshrava lang rasagyanam svadu svadu pade pade. That's very easy to remember, no? Svadu svadu pade pade. Everybody likes it. Pade pade. Step by step, no? Svadu svadu pade pade. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of God, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed the taste for transcendental relationship with Him relish hearing of His pastimes at every moment. In other words, they're not only reading Bhagavatam 1 hour in the morning and then they go and do other things. They can do this all day. The 1,000-year sacrifice, they were listening. It's very common in some temples to have 3-4 classes a day. Of course, very few people come to those classes. I mean, even in important places, I've been in very important temples in my life. At the time of class, the age of Kali Yuga is giving darshan in the television. And that attracts plenty of people. But when it comes to the temple and listening to the Bhagavatam, not so. We want to try that. That's why we make those temples, so people can listen to the Bhagavatam. We actually invite them everywhere. Please come. Vayam tunavitu yama utama shloka vikrame yachinvatam rasagyanam svadu svadu pade pade rasagyanam. Rasagyanam means they get the taste for the hearing. Rasagyanam. The knowledge about it is so sweet, Rasa Jnanam. Then it goes on. Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava atimatyani bhagavan kuda kapatamanusha. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of God, along with Balaram, played like a human being and so masked his performance. He performed many superhuman acts. Kalingagatam agyaya kshetresmin vaishnave vayam ashina dirgashatlena katayam shakshina hare. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here at the holy place to hear all at great lengths the transcendental message of Godhead, and in this way perform sacrifice. And then this very nice shloka ending. I can still remember that. Tvangnas sandashito datram dushtaram nishtitir satam kalin satvam haram pusam kannadara ivarnavam. Tvangnas sandashito datra dushtaram nishtitir satam kalin satva haram pusam kannadara ivarnavam. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. It is not surprising that we have difficulties. We are born in the age of Kali. Oh my God. Kali is giving us trouble. Then at the end, the last shloka of this first chapter is Bruhi Yogeshvara Krishna Brahmanya Dharma Varmani Swam Kashtam adunopete dharmakam sharanam gata. Since Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. And then we got the second chapter and we tried to go on memorizing. Maybe we were thinking one day we memorized 18,000, but it didn't work. Anyways, Vyasa Uvacha Iti Samprashna Samrishto Vipranam Raumaharshana Prati Puja Vachastisham Pravaktum Upachakrame. Ukrashrama, Sutta Goswami, the son of Raumaharshana, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmins, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. Sutta Uvacha Yang Pravajantam Anupetam Apetakritam Vaipayano Vilatakatala Ajuhava Putretitam Mayataya Taravo Vinetus Tam Shalabuta Lidayam Munim Anatosmi. Srila Sutta Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sage Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyas, leaving home without undergoing reformation by his sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, "Oh my son, indeed only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father." Shukadeva Goswami was born and immediately ran away from home. He had been in the womb for a long time. He didn't want to come out. Finally, he did come out. It's a long story. And he just got up and left. So his father was upset. That's an exciting story how it starts. No? A child runs away from home and becoming soon the speaker of the Bhagavatam. Yasmanu bhavam akila shruti shanam aham adhyatma deepam ati tirshatam tamondam samsarinam karuna yahapurana guyam tamvyasa sunam upayam gurumuninam. Let me offer Jai Sisi Guru Ranga Dandalvika Govinda Sundaram Sisilana Berlin Ishvara Ki Jai Sisi Guru Ranganana Prajeswara Ki Jai. Let me offer my respectful obeisance unto him Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for those great gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Narayana Namaskrita Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Ujirayat. That was part of our revision, our memorization to these verses now. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila B.A, the author, and unto Srila Prabhupada, who gave us the Srimad Bhagavatam. Munnaya satu prishtoham bhavatbir lokamangalam yakrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasirati. O sages, I've been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So he's answering, yes, you spoke the right questions. This is important. Now life starts. Like we are here, our Mela starts. Starts with the Bhagavatam, starts with the inquiry, starts with the answers from the great sages, starts in the middle of the beauty, castle on the sea, Easter Mela, snowstorm, morning sun, all in one. Yeah, this is pretty far out. Now comes the most beautiful shloka. Savai pungsang parodamor yator bhaktir adokshaye haituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Then the next one. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prajojita Janayati Asuvaidagyam Yana Chayat Ahaitukam. 40 years later, stays there. That was because we did it every day, you know. Maybe like put it in the brain. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which one man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. By rendering devotional service under the personality of God and Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Of course, there's many shlokas which are important in the Bhagavatam, but some of them are definitely outstanding. And we were very happy at that time to study those. Dharma svanushtita pumsam vivakshena katashuyat nat parayat yatiratim shrama eva ikevalum. The occupational activity of man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of God. All things you do, all advancement, all science you know, if it doesn't provoke attraction to the Supreme Lord, sorry to say, you've wasted your time away. Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartoripayo palkalpate nartasya dharmai kantasya kamolabaya hismita. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. So we should not practice spiritual life to then later satisfy our senses. Because when you want to give up sense gratification, then sense gratification is offered to you. It's fun, no? When you want to give up money, then money is offered to you. When you're greedy after money, you can't get it. When you give up sex life, then sex life is offered to you. Then it comes. Oh, you want this? Here? Take it. No, I don't want it anymore. Oh, really? But when you wanted sex life, then problem. Vadanti tattatva vidas tattvam yakyanam atvayam prameti paramatmeti bhagavat iti shatyate. Kamasya nendriya priti labo chiveta javata Tivasya tattva jigyasa nartoyaschya karmavi. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life, a self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's work. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Takshradhanannamunna yogyana vaidagya yuktaya pasyanti atmani chatmaham bhaktya shruta grihitaya. The serious, inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. So this is very nice description, how systematically you enter into this this world of nectar. And we kept reading and reading. It was never ending nectar. Atapumbir tvichashresta varashrama vivarsha svanustitasya dharmasya sansidir haritoshana. It's a classical verse. Or best amongst the twice born. It is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the divisions of societies only to please Krishna. Tasmat ikanamana so bhagavan sattvatam sada shrutavyakyatitavyascha dyejas pujas chanityada. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of God, who is the protector of the devotees. Of course, these were shlokas we needed to memorize because they were for our preaching, our life. They accompanied us. Yat anutyashina yukta karma granti nibandanam chindanti kovidas tasya kona kurvati kataratim. This one I hardly remember. With sword in hand, intelligent man cut through the binding, not of reactionary work, by remembering the personality of God. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Cutting the attachment. Shushrusho Shradadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. It's a very nice one because it's all twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice. Great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vyasadeva. Shinvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Vidi Antastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. Sri Krishna, personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his message, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Sweet verse. Hope, verse of hope. Srimad Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Vidyanta Stohya Vadran Vidunoti Suritsata. Now comes the classical verse everybody knows. Nashta Prayeshva Badishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in class on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service under the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Tada rajastamo bhava kamola lobastayas chaye chetaitai anuvitam shtita satve prasanati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then he is established in the goodness and he becomes completely happy. Evam prasana manaso bhagavat bhakti yogata bhagavat tattva jnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of God in the stage of liberation from the material association. This was the hope we had. Now we are going to the Bhagavatam, we're reading the Bhagavatam, we're studying this transcendental science. At that time the other book was not out. We didn't know what was that all containing, But we said, our material desires will vanquish, disappear by doing so. Vidyate vidaya grantis chityanti sarva samsaya chityanti chasya kalmani drishta evatmanishvare. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive activity is terminated when one sees the self as the master. Ato vai kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeva bhagavati kurvanti atma prashadinam. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of God, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. Sattvam rajas tamo iti prakritir gunaistair yukta para purusha eka ihasyatate stiti udaya hari virinchi hareti samya shreyansi